Yo, what's up, people? It's your boy, and I'm back. Okay, let's just go ahead and get into it. I'm a huge die-hard Dallas Cowboy fan. Okay, I've been a Cowboy fan since I was a little boy. I remember when I was a kid, I was so infatuated with the Dallas Cowboys. As a kid, I didn't know nothing about sports, football, or the Dallas Cowboys, but I can go as far as back when I was a child, how the main reason why I was a fan of the Dallas Cowboys as a little one was the fact that they had stars on their helmets. And ever since then, I have been watching the Dallas Cowboys start to finish. I watch every season. I'm not one of these bandwagon people that just jump on the wagon every time the Dallas Cowboys are successful or have dynasties or win Super Bowls. I've been a diehard Dallas Cowboy from thick to thin, from start to finish, okay? And there's only two times I have been embarrassed by my beloved Dallas Cowboys. One was the fact that I found out that Skip Bayless is a Dallas Cowboy fan like 4 or 5 years ago. And that just irked my soul that someone with full of hate, such as Skip Bayless, is a diehard Dallas Cowboy fan. I was so disgusted. I was busted and confused. I'm going like, man, how can you be the biggest hater on sports television, but you're a diehard Dallas Cowboy fan, okay? The two don't jive together. They don't coexist, but nevertheless, I got over it, okay? I love the Dallas Cowboys, not the Dallas Cowboy fan base, okay? And the second thing that I was embarrassed as a Dallas Cowboy fan is this season. Right now, the Dallas Cowboys are 2-4. We lead our own division, all right? The next closest person to be like second to us is a bunch of one and infinite times infinite losses. But we're like really a loss away from either tying or being at the bottom of the division. It only takes 1 week where the team known as the Washington Redskins, go ahead and get a winning streak, which I highly doubt it, or the Giants, who are still rebuilding again, or the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles just wake up and be the Philadelphia Eagles is old. And if they go on a winning streak, they can win this division. This division is sweet, okay? This division can easily be conquered by either of the teams, all right? Personally, my opinion, I don't think anybody should win this division, all right? But let me get to the clutch of my argument, okay? And my argument is the Dallas Cowboys are like the Houston Rockets. Let me repeat that one more again for the nation. The Dallas Cowboys are like the Houston Rockets, okay? They're not sorry enough to flat out lose and possibly get a number 1 draft pick, but it's pretty possible this year. But they're not good enough to advance in the postseason. They're gonna be below mediocre, all right? And with this division, this whole division being mediocre, there's a possibility that the Dallas Cowboys could win this division with a losing record. There is a highly likely that the Philadelphia Eagles could win this division with a mediocre subpar record, okay? I don't know about the team formerly known as the Washington Redskins. I don't know if they can win this division. I don't think they got enough talent on the field to do that. And the Giants are still in rebuilding mode, okay? So arguably it's the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles or no one else, all right? And there's a possibility that no one will be representing the NFC least, okay? I'm not even going to call it the NFC East, the NFC least, okay? So the Dallas Cowboys suffer with the same ailments as the Houston Rockets. They're too damn good to just suck, all right? But they're not good enough to advance into the playoffs. Okay, so I'm not one of these Dallas Cowboy fans that always every year talk about fire the coach, fire the coach, fire the coordinators, fire the coordinators. Can we fire the owner? You know, it comes a time in life where you got to stick with what you have, all right? And right now, the Dallas Cowboys, they're not going to fire Mike McCarthy anytime soon. He just got there, okay? His feet are not even wet enough, all right? So you can't get rid of Mike McCarthy, and he just got there. You can't get rid of Jerry Jones. You can't fire an owner. Let me think about it for a second. Can you fire an owner? I'm not 100% sure. You probably can fire an owner, okay? But nevertheless, you still got the same obstacles that you can't get rid of. So here's a suggestion to the Dallas Cowboys, and I'm a huge Dallas Cowboy fan, okay? And here's my suggestion. Why don't we do like the Giants, all right? First of all, the Dallas Cowboys screwed up by placating to Ezekiel Elliott. And this started a chain of events after going ahead and signing Ezekiel Elliott earlier, okay? 2, they never took the benefits of building an offensive line. When the offensive line was at its prime, the Dallas Cowboys were still rebuilding. They were still adding pieces, all right? So so now the offensive line is out of their prime. Now, possibly, they're probably going to go into free agency at the end of this offseason or the draft, whatever, to replenish the offensive line, all right? Ezekiel Elliott, they put the cart in front of the horse, okay? Why, placate to Ezekiel Elliott talking about he's going to hold out? Well, let him hold out, all right? I like Ezekiel Elliott, but Ezekiel Elliott is not Barry Sanders, okay? I'm sorry, he just isn't, okay? He's not one of those type of running backs where he's going to hold a team hostage, all right? What they should have done, and like I said, they put the cart in front of the horse. You got your offensive line established. You've been building on that. And while they're in their prime, you already done gave the job to Dak Prescott. You might as well roll the dice, sign him, go ahead. You could have already signed him years ago, all right? And it probably would have cost you a lot of money at first. Yeah, he probably would have, around this time asked for a raise, all right? And then that's what you will have to deal with. But then you have to gamble and say to yourself, okay, is he going to hold out? Or is he going to work with us as far as giving him a raise? And if his production has elevated, why not give him a raise? Okay. So the Dallas Cowboys, and by this time, the Dallas Cowboys have, leaked away whatever talent they had on their defense. Every year we lose an acquisition that's very beneficial to our defense, and they sign a big-time contract elsewhere. Yes, I know you can't pay everybody with this salary cap, but with this salary cap, you have to make better decisions for your organization, because the decision that you made 2 years ago is going to be either beneficial or it's going to be a roadblock as far as you being very successful. And I think it all started when they placated to Ezekiel Elliott, trying to get him. He said he was either going to hold out if they didn't give him an extension. He was going to go to Cabo. He was going to just chill at the beach, okay? Let him hold out, all right? In this era of the NFL, you really don't need a productive running back. Why are we placating to Ezekiel Elliott, okay? So the Dallas Cowboys, they're done. Put a fork in them. They're done, all right? Even if, look, we got the easiest couple of games, okay? The easiest road of a couple of games, okay? These are winnable games for the Dallas Cowboys. And every week, it's always a constant, all right? The defense can't hold a lead, okay? And the offensive line is crumbling week after week. All right. It's not the same offensive line. When you got those two problems playing against you, you're not going to win a lot of football games. Okay. And I'm so sick and tired of people saying, well, why don't you sign this person? Why don't you sign that person? I forgot the defender that got released by the Raiders. Everyone keeps talking about why come Jerry Jones haven't pulled the trigger and signed him? They're not one player away on defense to be an all-stud pro defensive caliber, okay? There are a lot of players away on the defensive line, on the secondary. There's some weakness on the linebacker core. I mean, there's 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 places on the defense where you can't just sign one free agent and it's going to fix everything. All right, it's just not that simple. All right, they have lost so much talent on the defense. All right, they got to replenish this talent through the draft and signing a few veteran players at the minimum every freaking year. Okay, but as soon as you sign these people, you lose somebody. All right, because you got so much of your money on the offense. All right, so Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones have put the cart in front of the horse. And that's why we're in this predicament now. All right. How good is Dak Prescott? Hell, I don't know. There's a lot of variables that say that the reason why Dak Prescott hasn't fully blossomed is a lot of factors. Okay. Just now establishing weapons. All right. The defense, it can't hold a lead. They can't make a stop. Okay. But he always come back from behind. Okay. He does well coming back from behind, but you don't want that from your quarterback. You want your quarterback to win ball games and maintain leads. And the only way he's going to do that is have some type of a defense. And that's what's wrong with the Dallas Cowboys. Plain and simple. No ifs, ands, or maybes. That's what's wrong with the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys, for the past 7 years, have been putting the cart in front of the horse. All right? They've been trying to fix everything around the football team except the quarterback. They let the quarterback be the last thing that they're going to fix. All right? And like I said, the offensive line is out of their prime. It's time to replenish the offensive line. The defense have been losing key stars to other teams. You can't sign everybody, okay? The holdout of Ezekiel Elliott, you made that a high priority, okay? You traded Oakland for the receiver, and I can't think of the receiver name right now because I'm so frustrated, okay? You gave up 2 number ones for him, but yet, guess what? You got to sign him too. You just drafted a receiver in the NFL draft. Okay. So is he going to replace him? Okay. So I don't know. The Dallas Cowboys got a lot of bills, but they don't have enough money to pay all the bills. There's going to be some bills that's going to have to be put aside. Okay. There's going to be some bills that either be put aside or get rid of them. All right. You just can't have this many uncertainties on your team and try to be a Super Bowl contender, okay? The defense is suspect. They're losing players left or right. You can't keep everybody. The offensive line is getting older. There's cracks in the foundation, okay? You just drafted a receiver, but you haven't paid the other receiver on the other end on the other side of the field. You haven't paid Dak Prescott because you're not sure if he's the one. Meanwhile, you put the cart in front of the horse and you sign Ezekiel Elliott, okay? And time you sign Dak Prescott, you're going to be looking for another running back anyway. Think about it. If you sign Dak Prescott to the financial tag this year, there's a lot of rumors that suggest they're going to sign him. They're going to give him the franchise tag again next year. Okay, that's 2 years down the road. That's 2 more years added to Ezekiel Elliott's prime. Eventually, he's going to be out of his prime, and you're going to be looking for a running back. So my opinion is, if the Dallas Cowboys are not going to fix these problems, if they're not going to pay off these bills, just take bankruptcy, chapter 7, and start all over again. Okay. Uh, you know, you know, tell Dak Prescott we're not going to sign you. We're starting all over again. Be in the draft for Trevor Lawrence, okay, and start this whole thing from the ground up all over again, okay. That's what's wrong with the Dallas Cowboys. It's they put the cart in front of the horse so many times that they're not taking care of the things that they need to take care of, okay, and that's why they're in the predicament now, okay. But yeah, nevertheless, my Dallas Cowboys, I just don't know what you guys are doing anymore. I mean, I really don't. It's just the decision making. The priorities are, just backwards. Okay, you started with the offensive line. You paid the running back. You got him a weapon from the Raiders, but you haven't paid that receiver yet. Okay, you drafted another receiver last year. I mean, in the draft last year. Okay, and you're losing key components on your defense because you're always trying to rob Peter to pay Paul. Okay, now you got to rebuild and revamp the defense. The defense isn't the same like it was 4 years ago. All right, I mean, it's just sad. I mean, if either start this thing all over again, or go ahead and pay Dak Prescott, you're going to have to bite the bullet on Ezekiel Elliott. You're probably going to have to ask him for a reduction in salary, or possibly letting him go. I'd rather let go of a player 2 or 3 years early, or 2 years early, than trying to release a player when they're out of their prime. Okay? You got to wave goodbye to, and I keep forgetting, Amari Cooper. Wave goodbye to him. Bye. We can't pay you. Let him walk and let him be a free agent. Okay? And you might, and just go ahead and say, okay, let's just lock in on Dak Prescott, sign him like Seattle did with Russell Wilson. Seattle was in the same predicament. Seattle said, look, either we're going to upgrade the defense, or let the Legion of Boom go and just start focusing on Russell Westbrook, sign him to a huge contract. Okay, so that's what the Seattle Seahawks did. They came to the realization they can't pay everybody. So just give Dak Prescott the contract extension, okay? Or just let him go. Signing him 2 years to a franchise tag it's not very beneficial for your team. And once you got him situated, then you work on the other acquisitions. You work on adding, your defense. Here's your priorities. Your defense, offensive line, and your defense, your offensive line. I think that's what you need to work on. Well, here's the table of contents for the Dallas Cowboys. Sign Dak Prescott to an extension. Work on your defense and work on your line. That line the foundation is cracking, but a key acquisition in free agency here, maybe a drafting a lineman there, that could probably band-aid the offensive line until you have to totally reconstruct it from the ground up. All right? And that's what you need to work. That's what the Dallas Cowboys need to focus on. All right? And if it means that we walk up to Ezekiel Elliott and say, yo, Ezekiel, I feel you and all, but you're probably going to have to take a pay cut, man, because we don't have enough salary in the books to take care of the problems that we have, okay? We done paid you very nicely, so we're just coming to you to see if you're going to take a pay cut. No, I ain't doing that. I ain't taking no pay cut. Then cut them. Or find a trade partner, okay? Because Ezekiel Elliott is not the missing ingredient to make this team better. Okay, so either do that or just totally just abandon this project, okay, and move on. Find ball clubs that's willing to pay Ezekiel Elliott, that's willing to pay Dak Prescott, and just go for it all. Go for the gusto and get Trevor Lawrence and be done with it. Find somebody that wants to pay Amari Cooper, or just let Amari Cooper walk. You just lost 2 number 1 picks for Amari Cooper. All right. The Dallas Cowboys is squandering away their prime talent with these acquisitions that they depended on 2 years ago. Okay? So it's time to either flip it. It's time to either flip this house or start renovating the house. Okay? Either you flip these acquisitions and let someone else worry about these acquisitions, or start from the ground up. Okay, and I already told you the table of content that the Dallas Cowboys need to focus on. Dak Prescott, signed him to an extension, wherever it takes. All right. In the draft, start drafting for the defense. You're gonna need some more pieces on the defense, and maybe if you have a draft picks to spare, put it on the offensive line. Free agency. If there's a veteran offensive line that you get for the minimum, then go for it. And then tell Ezekiel Elliott, look, dude, either you take a cut in salary or kick rocks, man. I think it's easier to find a running back than it is to find a receiver. Than it is to find a quarterback. That's just my opinion. With the rules favoring quarterbacks, it's easier to find another running back that may not have the same talent as Ezekiel Elliott, that may not have the same stats as Ezekiel Elliott, but he can move the ball. He can move the ball. He could be productive that way. He may not be a stud as a running back, but he's pretty productive. Okay, and he's pretty affordable. Okay, why are you spending so much money on Ezekiel Elliott when you're down 14, 20 points? How is a running back going to get you out of a hole? Shouldn't you have a defensive line that can stop every once in a while? Shouldn't you have and before people say, well, you have to understand that Prescott wasn't there yesterday. Don't give me that crap. Dak Prescott was there since week 1. All right, and the same problems they have at week 1 is the same problems they had last night. Don't give me the crap that if Dak Prescott was there, we would have won that ball game. Okay, we would have been in the same predicament, and then we'll be flipping a coin on whether or not we're going to win it on the last seconds. All right, so don't give me the crap of, well, Dak Prescott wasn't there. Anywho, I gotta go.